If you think the right words will bring her back, you've already lost. She doesn't return because of what you say. She comes back because of who you become in silence. This isn't a game. It's psychology. It's power. It's about becoming the man she can't erase from her mind. Even if she tries, she will come back if you understand and apply these steps without hesitation. Let's begin. 1. Stop trying to be understood. Start being unavailable. When a woman leaves, most men rush to explain themselves. They want closure, to be heard, and deep down, to be chosen again. But here's the truth. The more you try to be understood, the more you look like a man who can't handle being left. You start debating your worth instead of living it, and when you argue for your value, it instantly drops. Words don't bring her back. Being available doesn't spark her curiosity. You could send the perfect message, pour out your heart, or promise to change, but if she isn't emotionally open, it won't matter. To her, it's just noise. The only thing that shifts her view is contrast. Understanding female psychology. She has to feel the sudden silence of your presence, your energy, your emotions. That silence should break her expectations. She thought you'd chase. She thought you'd explain. Instead, you vanished, not in anger, but in strength. Most men fail here. They think staying present, kind, and emotionally available proves power. But to a woman who's already stepped back, it only confirms she still controls your emotions. Stop being emotionally available. Stop chasing understanding. Become unavailable in the ways that once fed her attention. You don't need to cut her off in anger or be cold, but you must disappear from her emotional radar. That absence, if done right, becomes unforgettable. She won't replay memories because you begged, but because you stopped showing up. The man who is unavailable becomes a mystery, and mystery always pulls her back. 2. Create a void so powerful it echoes. Most men think distance is dangerous, that if she pulls away, they must close the gap, do something, say something. But here's the truth. Women only feel the loss when you stop trying to fix it. That's what the void creates. When you withdraw not just your presence, but your energy, you create an emotional vacuum. A space that was once filled with your attention, care, and reactions. When that disappears, it echoes in her world in ways you can't imagine. The mistake most men make is confusing space with weakness. They think, if I don't act, I'll lose her forever. But real power doesn't chase. It holds ground. It lets the other person feel the shift without interference. Here's what to do. Stop watching her stories, stop liking her posts, don't answer breadcrumbs, don't send, just checking in texts. Remove yourself completely from emotional interaction. Not to punish her, but to protect your self-respect. Women respond more to energy than to logic. They don't return because of apologies. They return because silence forces them to feel life without you. The man who keeps chasing is easy to forget. The man who disappears calmly and confidently is impossible to ignore. Create that void. Let it expand. Let her feel the empty space you once filled. While you stay silent, she'll sit with the version of herself that no longer has access to you. And eventually, the echo of that silence speaks louder than any words ever could. 3. Become the man she thought you couldn't be without her. Here's the truth. Most women leave believing you'll crumble without them. They expect you to spiral, chase, and break. And when you do, you prove them right. But when you rise instead, when you grow stronger without her, you shatter everything she thought about your worth. If you want her back, don't focus on fixing the relationship. Focus on fixing yourself. Ask, where did I lose my edge? Where did I stop showing up for me? Was I neglecting my body, my goals, my standards? Now is the time to become the man she never thought you could be without her. A man who doesn't seek validation, who trains with discipline, who reads with focus, who builds his life with purpose. A man so dedicated to his path that even if she returns, he might not take her back. Here's the twist. Women are drawn to growth, especially when it happens in their absence. When she sees you getting sharper, calmer, more powerful, without bitterness, it creates conflict inside her. She starts questioning her choice. She starts watching. She starts regretting. But this only works if it's real. You can't fake growth just to get her back. You must truly outgrow the need for her. This isn't about revenge. It's about renewal. Rebuilding your presence, your energy, your strength to a point where your worth no longer depends on her. When she sees that, whether in months or years, it'll be undeniable. You won't need words. You won't need proof. She'll know she didn't leave the same man who now stands before her. 4. Let stillness speak louder than her doubts. You don't need to raise your voice to be heard. Sometimes, silence is the loudest statement. Most men panic when faced with distance. They explain, they plead, they try to fix what can't be fixed with words. But here's reality. If your energy is anxious, she feels it. If your presence is unstable, she pulls away further. What you need is stillness. Stillness doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing nothing outwardly while aligning everything inwardly. Stillness is control disguised as indifference, and it only works if it's real. You're not faking calm, you're becoming it. A man in stillness becomes unpredictable. He becomes a question mark. And in psychology, the mind is drawn more to uncertainty than certainty. Women don't dwell on the man who always reacts. They dwell on the one who didn't. Stillness means you don't chase, but you don't hate either. You don't react, but you don't freeze. You move with grace, power, and intention. She may test that stillness. She may bait you into reacting. But the more you resist, the more strength you build. In a world full of emotional chaos, the calm man stands out. He doesn't seek control. He doesn't beg for validation. He simply is. And that presence lingers in her mind even when you're not around. 5. Make her regret your absence, not miss your messages. She doesn't miss your texts, your good mornings, or your long apologies. What she misses, if you do this right, is the stability, leadership, and grounding you brought into her life. But she can only feel that if you stop reminding her of it. The moment you over-explain, over-text, or chase, you strip away your power. Worse, you make her decision to leave feel correct. Instead, let her experience life without you, not out of anger, not to manipulate, but through steady absence. Women don't regret when you're still emotionally available. They regret when they can't reach you. That's when doubts, second thoughts, and regret start creeping in. She doesn't regret your messages. She regrets losing access to the man who stopped sending them. 6. Don't close the gap. Make her cross it. Most men fail here. The moment there's space, they run to close it. She pulls away, he texts. She grows distant, he makes a grand gesture. But that instinct ruins your value. When you rush to close the gap, you send one message: I can't exist without you. That mindset is deeply unattractive. Real strength is letting the gap breathe. Let her feel the space she created. Let her sit in the silence. If she's meant to come back, she'll cross the space herself. But if you chase her across it, you rob her of the process that would have pulled her back. Make her cross the gap. That's the only way she'll value the man on the other side. 7. Trust time, not talk. Most men focus on timing the wrong way. They think if they send the right text at the right moment, they can undo everything. But in truth, time is your greatest ally. When you stop talking, when you step out of the conversation completely, silence starts to work. Not instantly, but slowly, over days and weeks, curiosity sets in. What is he thinking? Why hasn't he said anything? Why does he seem fine without me? Those questions don't come from your words. They come from your silence over time. If you speak too soon, you reset the clock. You take away the discomfort she needs to feel. But if you stay silent and focus on your own growth, she starts to question her choice. Let days pass. Let weeks go by. Let her scroll through old memories without new ones being added. Time will rewrite the story. Not with your voice, but with your silence. 8. Become the man who doesn't need her return. Here's the paradox. The more you want her back, the less likely she returns. The moment you stop needing her, stop obsessing, stop basing your future on her, the energy shifts. You must become the man who feels whole with or without her. This isn't just attachment, it's freedom. You reclaim every part of yourself you gave away to her validation, her approval, her attention. Ask yourself, who are you when she's not watching? Who are you when nobody checks in? Who are you when there's nothing left to prove? That man, the one who doesn't need an audience, is the strongest version of yourself. He doesn't wait for permission to evolve. He evolves because that's who he is. Women notice this shift. It isn't loud. It isn't online. But it's undeniable. You move differently, speak differently, live differently. Not because you want her back, but because you remembered who you are. And here's the truth. When she comes back, she'll meet a man she no longer controls. That's the real victory. Not her return, but your self-respect. 9. Let her feel the void, not your effort. After a breakup, men often obsess over what they did or didn't do. They replay the calls, gifts, late-night talks, and hope she'll remember their effort. But effort doesn't make someone stay. Presence does. What she truly feels is the void, not the list of things you did right. She misses the man who had purpose, who didn't second-guess himself, who carried calm strength. When you go silent, that man becomes rare. And rarity creates value. Let her feel that value, not by proving yourself, but by removing yourself. Let her wonder where that grounded man went. Let her sit with the fact that the stability she once had is now gone. Don't interrupt that realization. Don't rush it. Just disappear with dignity. Because when she truly feels the void, she won't remember your effort. She'll regret underestimating what she had. 10. When she comes back, don't be the same man she left. This is where most men fail. She returns and he's the same, still needy, still reactive, still holding on. But if you've done this right, there's a strong chance she will come back. The question isn't will she, it's what kind of man will she find when she does? You cannot be the same version of yourself she left. The goal isn't just to get her back. It's to become so evolved, so strong, so grounded that even if she returns, you're not sure she deserves the man you've become. This isn't about revenge. It's about reinvention. When she returns, she should feel like she's entering a new world, one you built without her. A world where you no longer depend on her love, attention, or apology. When she sees that, when she hears the calm in your voice, when she feels the certainty in your presence, she won't just be curious. She'll be drawn back in, deeply, powerfully. Because nothing attracts a woman more than the man she once knew who transformed into someone she no longer deserves. If this resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment below and subscribe to Attraction Decode, where psychology meets power. And remember, silence isn't weakness. It's transformation.